Hello guys, it's Lucy. I have been so busy with a trip overseas, so new videos are taking a bit longer. Thanks for waiting. Starting with some news. GGG just implemented a great quality of life improvement. Enemy Guardian's weapon now follows you through area transition. I've been waiting for this for so long. It was annoying and dangerous to resummon weapons every time I enter a Mirage instance. I'm so glad we no longer have to deal with that. About the build update, I've made some changes to my original build guide. I'm currently upgrading to the endgame Warforged version, and I now have enough damage to no tower AFK in Blight-Ravaged Map. Warforged is currently only 12 divine, which is incredibly cheap. That's a good news. If you are still using the low budget Terminus East, you can consider just keeping Paradoxica and upgrading directly to Warforged. Note on Tempering Orb, they are not cheap right now. It's fine to compromise with an 8% physical magnitude enchantment if you are on a budget. The DPS differences is negligible. Warforged require Abyss Jewel to provide flat physical damage to scale. You should aim to stack as many Abyss Jewel with T1 flat physical modifier as possible to maximize your damage. For the Gen support link change, the new exceptional and imbued Gen are fantastic, so I have updated my Gen links. For my Enemy Guardian, I hit the jackpot with an imbued corruption, grant a level 1 Feeding Frenzy. This allows me to drop the Feeding Frenzy support and free up a link. I can use Elemental Army or a Mid Shell to make the Guardian even tankier, or Cunning Strike if I want more damage. Regarding the link on Transfer Command, I upgrade Multi-Strike to greater Multi-Strike support, which is about a 10% more damage. It's a nice upgrade, but not mandatory. I have also swapped Elemental Penetration for Invert the Rule support. This gen is quite controversial, and while it shows almost identical DPS to Elemental Penetration in POB, the practical differences is somehow huge. During mapping, the boss and rare monsters die much faster, especially in Blighted Map, which I can now delete boss off screen. It's been a game changer for AFK in Ravaged Map. I'm not entirely sure why it performs so well in practice compared to the POB. This also makes the elemental weakness implicit on Grabbind no longer mandatory. I'm planning to run more experiments to determine the final setup, so stay tuned. Another honorable mention is the Annihilation Support. I swapped it with Ruthless Support during mapping. Annihilation on minion kill is a blast. When a minion kills an enemy, there is a 40% chance to trigger an explosion, dealing 10% of their maximum life as random elemental damage. These explosions scale with minion damage and minion AoE, can creating a chain reaction. So I get 30% increased minion AoE from the offense mastery here. It significantly improved mapping speed, and the gen only costs about 10 chaos, is so cheap. It's really worth using while mapping. Just remember to swap back to Ruthless Support for the pinnacle bosses. And about the congregation support, some people are wondering is this helpful for Transfer Command. I personally not gonna to use it because indeed it can provide more damage in theory, but the problem is it will make our maximum weapons from 14 to 20, so we may probably not able to sustain our maximum number of weapons by a single Screaming Terror. We probably have used 2, and so I think it's not worth it to sacrifice one more win slot during bossing. Alright, that's all the changes I have made so far. Now let's talk about how I've been making currency this league. Since I've been busy with my trip this week, I've basically been focusing on AFK farming strategies. At the start, I go straight into AFK Blighted Map after the campaign. Luckily, the oil price are very good this league. Silver oils are around 100 chaos, while gold, tinted, and prismatic oils go for 1 or 2 demise each. That really helped me secure my startup currency. After upgrading to the medium budget version, I switched to AFK Ultimatum farming. Here's the added tree for reference. I used 2 scarab of bribing and 1 scarab of inscription. The income is decent, slightly higher than Blighted Map, but it does require more operation. So once I got my Void Forge, I move on to farming Blight-Ravaged maps. It's more profitable than Ultimatum, and I think it's the best AFK strategy so far, while the oil price is still rising. Just keep in mind that AFK farming income is always lower than active mapping. I prefer AFK just because I'm too busy and just want to chill. If you have the time to play actively, you should definitely go mapping. True, that's not really my area of expertise. I highly suggest check out Fabgun's channel. He's the GOAT of farming strategies. Okay, for the final section, I summarized some tips for farming Blighted Map for more rewards this league. First, you should buy at least tier 13 Blighted Map. They are only about 1 or 2 chaos each. And second, you need to anoint them. For normal Blighted Map, I use 1 Crescent and 2 Teal Oils. For Blighted Ravaged Map, because Silver Oil are too expensive this league, I use 3 Teal, 3 Crescent, and 3 Black Oil as a low budget setup. It still have very good rewards. The third step is to stack quantity, because map item quantity affects the Blight chest count at about 25% to 50% of its value. I use Exalted Orb on every map to get 6 modifier. Exalted Orb are really cheap this league, and rolling 6 modifiers significantly increase the total rewards. Finally, remember to corrupt your map to get more quantity and a chance to drop Tainted Oil, which are currently 2 divine each. And also, put as many red fragments for more quantity when you run the map. Chains of Command can handle almost any map modifier, even on a low budget, so corrupting every map is not a problem. However, after upgrading to Void Forge, Elemental Reflection modifier could break your maps. The solution is simple, just swap your left ring slot for Stability Lament. It got buffed this league and now provides 100% immunity to Reflect. It's an easy fix. Alright, that's my 2 cents for this league. I'm going to keep experimenting with other farming strategy and push this build even farther. I hope you enjoyed the content for today. Keep safe and see you next time.